is National Hockey League action featuring the hard hitting, the power, the motion, and all the excitement of the world's fastest sport. Chicago Stadium is the setting for a contest between two of hockey's most evenly matched teams. The Chicago Blackhawks occupying first place in the NHL West, and the New York Rangers holding second in the East Division. Ed Giacomin, last year's Vezina Trophy winner, is the Rangers goaltender tonight, while Tony Esposito, on the threshold of dethroning Giacomin in the current Vezina race, is in goal for the Blackhawks. Tony E. has a 13-goal lead, and a victory or tie tonight will just about lock up goaltending honors for 1972. Chicago is yet to beat New York this season, and this is the final regular season meeting between the two. They are, however, potential foes in the Stanley Cup semifinals if they both survive the opening round. Cliff Carl's shot is right on, but Giacomin makes a leg save. Stan Mikita controls and then loses the puck to Gary Doak, who clears out of the zone. Walt Tkachuk takes to the offense for New York and hits heavy traffic in the Chicago end. Glenn Sather tries to center a pass, but it goes wide, and Cliff Carl brings the Blackhawks right back. Carl drops a pass to Stan Mikita. Mikita moves left for a backhand shot, and it's in. On the replay, watch Mikita take the drop pass from Carl, move to his left into the face-off circle, and then shoot the backhand shot past a screened out Ed Giacomin. Defenseman Gary Doak is right between the puck and the goal as Mikita makes good use of the screen to score his 26th goal of the year. Blackhawks 1, Rangers nothing after 14 minutes of play. Brad Park circles in his own end and then circles again as the Blackhawks check the Rangers closely, displaying fine defensive teamwork. Bill White steals and passes to Jim Pappen. Pappen breaks it all alone, and Giacomin makes a sensational sliding save, breaking his goal stick in half in the process. Chicago continues to apply the pressure. Dennis Hull shoots, Pappen tries a tip-in, and Giacomin makes a glove save before Pete Stemkowski ices the puck to give Eddie an opportunity to get a new piece of lumber. The Blackhawks continue to protect their 1-0 lead into period 2. Chicago's tight checking limited the Rangers to only 3 shots on goal in the first period. Rod Gilbert centers across the goal mouth, but no Rangers are in the vicinity as the puck travels to the far boards. Pitt Martin leads the Blackhawks on a break. Martin shoots, and Giacomin makes a fantastic catch and holds on. A second look from ice level behind the goal. Watch Martin break in on the right, and keep your eyes on Giacomin's left hand as he reaches out and spears the shot. An incredible stop on a point-blank forehand that had goal written all over it. Brad Park starts New York up ice, looking for the equalizer. Park's screen shot is blocked by Esposito. Stemkowski on the rebound, and Espo makes another save as Chicago starts a return rush. Eric Nestorenko passes cross ice to Stan Mikita. Mikita races in, and Brad Park trips him from behind. Referee John Ashley calls for a penalty shot. Watch the replay. The rulebook states a player in control of the puck in the attacking zone, having no other opponent to pass except the goaltender, being tripped or fouled from behind to prevent a reasonable scoring opportunity, shall be awarded a penalty shot. Now in slow motion, you'll see Mikita clearly has control of the puck behind the defense with only Giacomin to beat. Park trips him from behind, and a penalty shot is unquestionably the correct call by referee John Ashley. be Stan Mikita against Ed Jockerman, one-on-one, with the ice clear of all other skaters. Jockerman gets set as the crowd waits anxiously for Mikita to begin his rush from center ice. And here he comes. The shot, and Jockerman stops it. The replay shows Mikita's shot is stopped by Jockerman's right leg, and the puck bounces harmlessly away. The most dramatic play in sports results in a big save by Jockerman. Disappointment for Mikita, and the score remains Chicago 1, New York 0 in the second period. The Blackhawks head up ice in an attempt to score by more normal methods and extend their one-goal margin. Chris Bordeleau centers a pass for Stan Mikita. Mikita over to Carl, and once again Jockerman makes the big play. Vic Hatfield passes to Walt Tkachuk at the blue line. Tkachuk back to Hatfield, but a shot is blocked by Brian Campbell. Dale Ralph keeps the puck in the Chicago zone. Tkachuk to Hatfield on the left, to Rod Gilbert in front, and he scores. A second look shows Rod Gilbert slipping behind the Blackhawks defenders, and he's all alone in front for Hatfield's pass. One of the few Chicago defensive mistakes of the evening allows Gilbert to tie the game at 1-1 with his 42nd goal of the season. Vic Hatfield steals a pass from Cliff Carl and passes over to Rod Sealing as the Rangers look for the tiebreaker midway through the second period. Rod Gilbert hops off the bench and into the play, but Dennis Hull controls for Chicago. Doug Jarrett passes along the boards out to the neutral zone, and Dennis Hull gathers it in to feed Cliff Carl on his right. Carl winds up, shoots, scores. A second look shows a fine cross-ice pass from Dennis Hull, sets Carl up for a slap shot just inside the blue line. The drive beats Jockerman cleanly on his right side, and the Blackhawks regain the lead at 2-1 on Carl's 20th goal of the campaign. Into the third and final period as Gene Carr carries into the Chicago zone, while defenseman Bill White tomahawks Rod Gilbert in front of the net. It's in front of referee Ashley, too, and that means a trip to the penalty box for White, and the Rangers will have a power play opportunity. Bobby Hull and Pete Stemkowski face off, and the puck goes to Rod Gilbert. Gilbert shoots, and Tony Esposito deflects it wide with a great save to maintain the 2-1 Chicago lead. Bobby Rousseau quarterbacks the New York power play and flips to Brad Park as Jarrett forechecks. As Jarrett races to catch up with the play, he hooks Park, and now the Rangers will have a two-man advantage for 40 seconds. The Rangers set up the attack, looking for an opening as the Hawks go into a triangular defensive alignment. Jim Nielsen's shot deflects off Mikita's stick and sails over the cage as Bill White returns to the ice. Jim Pappen slides the puck ahead to Pitt Martin. Martin cuts cross ice, fakes Jockerman neatly, shoots, and scores. On the replay, play. Pitt Martin fakes beautifully, keeps control, takes his time, and picks his spot just as pretty as can be. Martin's shorthanded tally makes the final score Blackhawks 3, Rangers 1. The Chicago defense limits the high-scoring New Yorkers to a meager 15 shots on goal and serves notice they'll be ready for the playoffs should they meet again in the semifinal round. The date was April 29th, 1971. The scene was Madison Square Garden as the Rangers and Blackhawks met in Game 6 of their Stanley Cup semifinal series. What followed was one of the most memorable hockey games in recent NHL history. The goaltending of Ed Giacomin and Tony Esposito was superb, the hitting fierce, and the action tremendous, as both teams gave their all in an unforgettable night. Midway through period one, Cliff Carl passes to Stan Mikita in the middle. Mikita to Dennis Hull at the blue line. Hull's shot trickles in off Giacomin's pads, and Chicago jumps out to a 1-0 lead. In period two, Bobby Hull passes left for Pitt Martin. Martin to Chico Mackey. The shot is in, and the Blackhawks gain a 2-0 lead after only 1 minute and 44 seconds of the second period as the partisan Madison Square Garden crowd suffers in silence. Coach Billy Ray's Hawks lead the series 3-2 and can eliminate the Rangers with a victory tonight. Doug Jarrett starts out of the Chicago zone, but his pass is stolen by Brad Park at center ice. Park passes to Vic Hatfield. Hatfield to Rod Gilbert for a slap shot, and he scores. Into period three, and it remains Chicago 2, New York 1. Vic Hatfield races up ice with Rattel and Gilbert. He feeds Rattel in the slot. Rattel shoots and ties it up. Rangers coach Emile Francis looks on intently with the realization that it's do-or-die night. His team has battled back from a 2-goal deficit. Do they have one more goal left in them? John Rattel shoots from the corner, and Tony Esposito makes the save and covers up. And the teams prepare for overtime with the scoreboard reading period 4. John Rattel feeds Tim Horton, and Esposito deflects the shot wide as the Rangers apply pressure in the overtime session. Esposito survives a visit from Vic Hatfield on the Chicago end as the Blackhawks break the other way. Dennis Hull carries in, but Rod Sealing poke checks the puck away and gains control to end the first overtime period before a delirious crowd. Blackhawks 2, Rangers 2 with the second overtime period coming up. Early in period 5, Stan Mikita hits Giacomin on the face mask. Chicago maintains control. Mikita to Bill White. He hits the left post. Mikita's rebound hits the right post, and Sealing ices the puck to relieve the pressure. As Giacomin comes to the bench for some first aid, let's take another look at that sequence in slow motion. Mikita's slap shot catches Giacomin flush on the mask as the puck bounces over the net and around the boards. White shot hits the left post and rebounds to Mikita, who has an open net to shoot at with Giacomin out of position and stunned. Mikita's shot hits the right post and bounces to Sealing, who clears it down ice. Now it's Mikita's turn to be stunned. After missing a shot he said he'd make 99 times out of 100. The tireless fans cheer and prepare for a third overtime, or period 6, if you prefer, as we pick up the live play-by-play. Now Horton starts out. We're a minute 20 into overtime period 3. Horton to center from the red line. He slaps wide right side of Esposito on the rebound. Irvin shoots, save, nails. Chicago Blackhawks in 7th overtime by the score Stemkowski's goal gave the Rangers a 3-2 win after 1 minute and 29 seconds of the third overtime in what fans and players alike will recall as Madison Square Garden's longest night. Builds toward a climax. Two of the four contenders for the third and fourth playoff slots meet head-on in Oakland as the St. Louis Blues take on the Golden Seals. The pressure is intense as St. Louis coach Al Auber and California coach Vic Stasiuk prepare for battle. Crucial is a mild word for this contest. The Golden Seals trail the Blues by 1 point, with Philadelphia and Pittsburgh just 1 point behind the Seals. Only two of the four teams will qualify for the playoffs, and something's got to give. Number 12, Gary Jarrett shoots, and Blues goalie Jacques Caron makes a sparkling save to keep the game scoreless. Both sides are short a man as Bob Plager skates back deep in his own zone to corral a loose puck for St. Louis. Danny O'Shea carries up ice for the Blues, but loses control to Rick Smith at the blue line, and California comes back the other way as Bob Stewart sends cross ice to Jerry Pinder. Pinder dekes to puck, carries in, passes out to Bob Stewart on the point. Stewart shoots and scores. On the replay, Stewart and Smith check O'Shea off the puck, and Stewart's cross-ice pass to Jerry Pinder gets the Golden Seals offense underway. Pinder carries deep, finds Stewart all alone on the left point, and Bob Stewart blasts a slap shot home for his first NHL goal. And what a spot to pick for career goal number 1. California 1, St. Louis nothing. Into period 2 as the Golden Seals force a face-off in the Blues' end. Craig Patrick centers for Paul Schmier. The shot, and Caron makes a beautiful leg save, but California still controls the puck. Dick Redmond winds up for a slap shot, and once again, Jacques Caron is right there with a big stop, and he holds on to prevent a rebound of the Seals' Gary Jarrett hanging on the cage, and I do mean hanging on. Joey Johnston shoots, and Caron makes another save as now the Blues start a rush with Mike Murphy at the controls. Murphy centers and the puck hits the far boards. A clearing attempt is stopped by Phil Roberto, who shoots and scores. On the replay, Murphy's centering pass caroms out to Barclay Plager. His shot is stopped at the defense, but Roberto knocks the puck down with his left hand and fires a quick shot past a heavily screened Gilles Meloche in the Seals' goal. St. Louis 1, California 1, midway through the second period. Wayne Carlton shoots wide as the Golden Seals fight to break the tie. Caron stops Stan Gilbertson right on his doorstep, and the California attack is delighting the capacity crowd. Paul Schmier passes left, and Joey Johnston carries in. The loose puck slides out to Dick Redmond for a big windup and slap shot. It's in! A second look shows that Redmond's shot had to travel through a maze of players in front of the St. Louis goal. The shot started low, hit the stick of number 18, Gary Crotto, and hopped over Caron into the net for the score. Golden Seals 2, Blues 1 on Crotto's 11th goal of the season. Reg Leach and Redmond get assists. Bobby Sheehan whistles a slap shot, and Curran makes the stop as period 3 gets underway, with California looking for an insurance marker. Bobby Sheehan slides a pass to Ivan Boldarev before being checked, and Curran saves the day for St. Louis again as the Golden Seals apply steady pressure. Number 9, Frank St. Marseille, breaks loose for St. Louis. He races in, shoots, and scores. Another look shows the puck takes a bad bounce, hopping past Paul Schmier, and St. Marseille is off to the races ahead of the field. His perfect shot beats Meloche low on the left side, and suddenly it's a 2-2 game as Frank St. Marseille's unassisted goal ties it up with 4:38 gone in the third period. Joey Johnston carries into the blue zone. A pretty feed to Gary Crotto, and Curran makes a great play to keep the game knotted at 2-2. The Golden Seals press the attack, but Craig Patrick loses to Andre Dupont, and Dupont carries up ice for the Blues until Schmier decks him with a rolling block. Now it's Gilles Meloche's turn for heroics as he stops Phil Roberto's shot and Gary Unger's rebound in rapid succession before covering up to preserve the tie. Final score, California 2, St. Louis 2, as the West Division playoff race gives every indication of going right down to the last day of the season. This has been National Hockey League action, featuring the hard-hitting, the power, the motion, and all the excitement of the world's fastest sport. This is Marv Albert for National Hockey League action, a presentation of National Hockey League services.
This is National Hockey League action, featuring the hard-hitting, the power, and all the excitement of the world's fastest sport. Playoff berths are on the line in the St. Louis Arena as the Blues entertain the Detroit Red Wings. Mickey Redmond is on his way to becoming the first 50-goal scorer in Detroit history. He sparks the offense while steady Gary Bergman fortifies the defense, along with starting goaltender Roy Edwards. The Blues scoring punch has received a recent boost from a Jack Eagers hot streak, but Gary Unger continues to be the big man in the St. Louis attack. Wayne Stevenson gets the starting assignment in goal. The Red Wings come into this game tied with Buffalo for the final playoff slot in the East in a fight that has been nip and tuck since mid-season. The Blues have a 4-point margin over Los Angeles for the fourth and final playoff berth in the West Division, but the schedule down the stretch favors the Kings. Serge Lajeunesse is called for holding, and St. Louis gets an early break with a power play advantage and puts the heat on Roy Edwards in the Detroit end. Gary Unger wins a face-off and gets the puck back to Steve Durbano. Unger controls behind the net and centers out as the Blues set up the power play once again. Unger back to Ab DeMarco on the right point. DeMarco shoots and scores. Here's a second look from ice level as Ab DeMarco's long slap shot deflects off the stick of Detroit's Nick Libet and sails past the left arm of goalie Roy Edwards. DeMarco's fourth goal in 9 games since coming to St. Louis gives the Blues a quick 1-0 lead. Wayne Stevenson cuts down the angle and makes a big save on Nick Libet, but Bob Plager gets 2 minutes for hooking, and now Detroit has a power play chance. Mickey Redmond's blast flies over the net, but number 10, Alex Delvecchio, keeps the puck alive in the offensive zone. Red Berenson controls, feeds cross ice to Redmond, score! Here's the replay as Delvecchio wrestles with Danny O'Shea until Berenson makes the pickup. Mickey Redmond's strong wrist shot beats Stevenson on the short side, and the Red Wings tie it up at 1-1. For Redmond, his 47th goal of the season. Edwards stops Unger on his doorstep. And then Stevenson returns the compliment, stopping high-flying Mickey Redmond in the St. Louis end as the goalies settle down and the body checking picks up. The Blues' Floyd Thompson interferes with Guy Charon, and referee Wally Harris makes the call at 14:58 of the first period. Red Berenson leads the Red Wings power play unit into the attacking zone. Berenson back passes to Mickey Redmond. Score! Replay shows a beautiful setup by Red Berenson, and then Mickey Redmond's 48th goal puts the Red Wings on top 2-1 after 1 period of action. Heavy hitting and roughhouse play are the rule rather than the exception as period 2 gets off to a smashing start. Jack Eagers and Detroit's Ken Murray punctuate the action. Mickey Redmond makes note of Bob Plager's number for possible future reference after that ferocious hip check sent him sprawling head over heels. Here's another look at it. Same Bob Plager leads a St. Louis rush up ice. Phil Roberto's shot is wide. The rebound to Plager over to Danny O'Shea, score! Here's the replay from behind the net as Bob Plager keeps right on coming after dropping the puck to Roberto. Plager's quick pass on the rebound surprises Roy Edwards, and Danny O'Shea's goal ties the game at 11:29 of the second period. Wayne Merrick goes down courtesy of Tommy Bergman, and the tripping call gives the Blues a power play opportunity to break the deadlock. Jack Eagers passes the puck out to Ab DeMarco on the far point. DeMarco shoots and scores. Watch the replay carefully as the goal is credited not to Ab DeMarco, but to Gary Unger. Unger, stationed halfway between the point and the net, reaches out one-handed to tip the shot, just enough to change the course of the puck, and it's by Edwards before he can adjust. The Blues regain the lead on Unger's 37th goal. Red Berenson sends Henry Boucher into the St. Louis end, and his shot bounces off the post, as now Detroit is looking for the equalizer. Wayne Merrick brings the Blues back. He passes ahead to Floyd Thompson. Thompson shoots and scores. On the replay, Wayne Merrick makes a perfect pass, and Floyd Thompson has goalie Roy Edwards one-on-one. Thompson's shot into the right corner gives the Blues 3 goals in a span of just 2 minutes and 38 seconds, and they open up a 4-2 lead. The Blues keep the pressure on, firing a total of 19 shots on goal in the second period, and Roy Edwards has his hands full in the Detroit nets. Edwards finally holds on, and the second period concludes with a score: Blues 4, Red Wings 2. Into the final period as Wayne Stevenson makes 1 save, and then St. Louis goes right back on the attack again. Ab DeMarco intercepts Gary Bergman's pass. Kick save Edwards, the rebound, Gary Sabourin scores. Gary Sabourin gives the Blues a commanding 5-2 lead with goal number 20 on the year. But the Red Wings come right back. Nick Libet alone in front, shoots and scores. The Wings are down 5-3 with time running out as Tommy Bergman is caught tripping Floyd Thompson. Detroit's fate is apparently sealed. They'll be 1 man down for the final 45 seconds, with St. Louis enjoying a 2-goal advantage and a power play. Ab DeMarco winds up, shoots, and Fran Huck tips it in. The sellout crowd of over 19,000 loves the finishing touch as Fran Huck's goal with just 31 seconds left makes the final score Blues 6, Red Wings 3. St. Louis edges closer to a playoff berth in the West, while Detroit is left in a flat-footed tie with Buffalo in the East.
My name is Dave Newell, referee for the National Hockey League. One of the most important aspects of officiating is being able to mentally prepare yourself. I think the officials go through just as much anxiety as the players, sometimes more so. I know I like to try and feel a game out, and if they're going to, if players want to play rough to begin with, well, consequently, you're going to call the game tight to begin with.
22 the Islanders for tripping, 2 minutes.
You don't ever want to take the game away from the players. There are occasions when, you know, the players just, they're out there to fight, and you have to call the penalties.
Let's go. Okay. Way to go. Way to get in there fast, boys. Way to work.
I think that overall the officiating staff is pretty consistent. The first thing you have to realize when 2 players are fighting not always are the two linesmen there at the same time. And the worst thing you could do is for one linesman to go in without the other one. It's quite obvious one player is going to have an advantage over the other. If we get what we feel is an even match, then the linesmen let them fight. And I think it's good for this reason. I think it's a good idea to let them get it out of their system. Maybe then they're going to settle down and play hockey. If you break it up prematurely, they're going to be at each other all night. If you have an uneven match, you'll never see the referee or the linesman let them go. I think, we're not out there to... We don't want anyone to get hurt, so consequently, the linesmen go in quick and break it up if it looks like it's an uneven match or if someone's getting hurt. As far as positioning goes, as the play goes on, you like to be behind the play, maybe 20 feet behind the play so that you can get an overall picture of what's going on. No time should ever face away from the play, like away from the action. You should never turn into the boards. Anytime you have to make a turn, always turn in towards center ice. Very important, of course, the game is all about scoring goals. I think this area is very important for an official. When the play is around either goal, you have to be on top of the play at all times. You'd never want to be caught out of a position and end up with a disputed goal. As far as crowd reaction goes, I much prefer to work in a noisy building, a building that's, capacity crowd type thing. This way, it keeps me in the game. You never really hear any individual remarks when you have a big crowd. It's when you have your small crowds that you can pick out the individual statements that are pointed at you type thing.
17, you're gone. 17, the Islanders for hooking, 2 minutes. Way to go, Finn Dog, way to work. Number 4, Oakland, 2 minutes for hooking. 6, Oakland, 2 minutes for holding. 6, Oakland. 15, you're gone. Okay, I got him. Stewie, I got him. Get out of there. Now I got him. 22, the Islanders for a high stick. And get in the box and shut up.
We're out there 60 minutes of the game. We don't have the opportunity to change every 2 or 3 minutes. I'll tell you, by the time that final buzzer goes, you're very bushed. I think the biggest reward in this business is self-satisfaction. Deep down inside, when you wake up in the morning and have to look at yourself in the mirror, you know if you're doing the job, and no one has to tell you.
Second place in the East is the prize as the New York Rangers invade Boston Garden to challenge the Bruins. The Rangers rely heavily on their bulldog line of Walt Kachuk, rookie Steve Vickers, and Billy Fairburn for scoring, checking, and penalty killing. The Bruins have Phil Esposito en route to his 3rd consecutive NHL scoring title, his 4th in 5 years, while Greg Shepard is the highest-scoring rookie in Bruins history. The ageless wonder 44-year-old Jacques Plante is the Boston goaltender. This is a preview of an opening round Stanley Cup matchup, but the second-place finisher will gain the home ice advantage. Coming into this contest, the Rangers and the Bruins are all even at 101 points apiece, 9 points behind the first-place Canadiens. Bobby Orr controls for Boston in his own end. Orr moves up and headmans a pass to Greg Shepard. Shepard comes in all alone, shoots and scores. On the replay, Shepard gets behind the Rangers' defense, and Orr threads the needle with a pretty pass. Shepard beats goalie Gilles Villemure for his 24th goal of the season, and the Bruins lead 1-0 after just 1 minute of the first period. Rod Gilbert tries to get the Rangers' offense untracked. Jaratel tests Plante, but Jacques saves on the point-blank shot. Villemure halts Dallas Smith's backhander, and the Rangers return to the offense. But the amazing Jacques Plante is equal to the task. Heavy hitting is an integral part of the Boston-New York rivalry, and this game is no exception. Phil Esposito takes off on a one-man excursion. Esposito to Johnny Busick, and Villemure makes a glove save as the first period ends with the Bruins holding the 1-0 lead they gained in the opening minute of play. As the second period begins, Boston is experiencing difficulty in its own end, but Jacques Plante is holding the fort in goal. In the Ranger end, Villemure stops Busick again from point-blank range and then makes a stick save on Phil Esposito. Wayne Cashman controls behind the New York net. Cashman centers for Derek Sanderson. Sanderson's deflection bounces up and it's in. The replay shows Wayne Cashman's centering pass hits the side of the net. Derek Sanderson's backhand shot from an impossible angle bounces off Brad Park and into the left corner of the net. Bruins 2, Rangers nothing on Derek Sanderson's 5th goal of the year. Fred O'Donnell is floored by Ron Harris as the Rangers try to beat the Bruins in the checking department. But on offense, the Rangers are stopped time and time again by the master, Jacques Plante. When the final period gets underway, the Bruins still hold a 2-0 lead as New York's Steve Vickers and Boston's Terry O'Reilly decide to liven up the proceedings. Esposito holds off Ron Harris with one hand, controls the puck with the other, then shoots wide as the Rangers get a break. The Bruins continue on the attack, but goalie Gilles Villemure is keeping the Rangers close. Boston's Ken Hodge outmuscles Irvin and Nielsen in the corner and pokes the puck out to Phil Esposito. Espo shoots and scores. The Boston Bruins claim sole possession of second place in the East with a 3-0 victory over New York. And as the Boston fans roar their tribute, Jacques Plante exuberantly accepts the plaudits for his 96th shutout in a fabulous career that appears absolutely endless. time for the Athena Sports Network and National Hockey League action.
Hertz girls hate filling out rent-a-car forms probably as much as you do. So Hertz has found a way to make us both happier. It's called Hertz Number 1 Club, and you can join for free. Then when you reserve a Ford or other car, your form will be filled out in advance. So all you do is show your license, sign the form, and go. Or sign the form and stay. Because the less time I spend on paperwork, the more time I can spend with you.
It's the little things that make us big.
This is National Hockey League action, featuring the hard-hitting, the power, and all the excitement of the world's fastest sport. Playoff berths are still in doubt into the final week of the regular season NHL action. The surprising Los Angeles Kings are hopeful high scorers Bob Berry and Mike Corrigan can carry them to fourth place in the West. A steady goaltending performance by Rogie Vachon is also needed as the Kings struggle to catch St. Louis. The California Golden Seals provide the opposition tonight with outstanding rookie Hilliard Graves and sophomore Joey Johnson leading their offense, while Gilles Meloche, the league's busiest goaltender, guards the net. The Seals are out of the race, but relish the spoilers role against Los Angeles. The Kings trail the St. Louis Blues by 2 points, but have a good chance to catch the Blues by sweeping their remaining 3 games, 2 against the Seals and 1 against Vancouver. The Seals' Ted McAnally falls behind his own net, and the Kings try to move in and capitalize. Gilles Meloche, off to a fine start in goal for California, turns back the Kings. Serge Bernier wins a race for the puck. Centers out to Dan Maloney, and Meloche stops Maloney on 3 successive shots before holding on as the game remains scoreless. Veteran Harry Howell clears the puck ahead as Los Angeles starts up ice with Butch Goring in control. Goring over to Serge Bernier. Bernier shoots and scores. The Kings grab a 1-0 lead after 1 period of play. As the second stanza gets underway, Los Angeles looks for more, but Gilles Meloche is performing miracles in goal for the Golden Seals. The Kings have 4 wins and no losses in the season series with California to date, and another victory tonight would brighten their playoff hopes. Larry Brown breaks up a Seal centering attempt, but Joey Johnson feeds Pete Laframboise, and Laframboise shoots and scores. With the score tied 1-1 midway through the second period, California's Ted McAnally draws the game's initial penalty as he trips Butch Goring, and the Kings get a power play chance. Gilles Marat fires from the far point. Meloche saves, and the rebound slides inches wide of the right post as the Kings apply the pressure. A replay shows just how close Mike Corrigan's rebound came to breaking that tie. The Kings regroup with Serge Bernier quarterbacking the power play attack. Gilles Marat passes back out to Bernier. Bernier shoots and scores. A second look from ice level as Serge Bernier takes a return pass from Gilles Marat, and his soft shot skips through the pads of goaltender Meloche. Bernier's second goal of the game, his 22nd of the season, puts the Kings back on top 2-1. Stan Weir moves into the Kings' end, but Barry Long drops to his knees to block the shot with a nice defensive play. Rick Smith keeps the puck in the offensive zone and feeds Reg Leach in the slot. Leach shoots and scores. Here's the replay as Reggie Leach is left unguarded 25 feet in front of the net. His shot skids through Rogie Vachon's leg, and the Golden Seals tie it up 2-2 after 2 periods of play. The St. Louis Blues have gained 1 point in a tie game against Minnesota, and now the Kings know they can't afford a loss as California attacks in the final period. Finally brings Los Angeles up ice. He shoots, and Meloche stops Bob Barry's tip-in try. Bill Lasuk shoots from the left point, but it's blocked, and Hilliard Graves has a breakaway. Graves shoots and scores. Here's the replay as Ivan Boldarev feeds Hilliard Graves ahead of the field. Graves' shot flies over Vachon's right shoulder into the far side of the net. Hilliard Graves' 27th goal of the season gives the California Golden Seals a 3-2 upset win, their first of the year against Los Angeles, and the Kings' valiant try for the 4th playoff berth in the West comes to an end. Second place in the West Division comes down to the final weekend, with the hard-fighting Philadelphia Flyers needing a victory against the New York Islanders to clinch the runner-up spot over Minnesota. The Flyers lead the NHL penalty statistics by a wide margin, averaging 22.5 penalty minutes per game, and this game is no exception. But the Flyers play hockey even better than they fight, and they're anxious to lock up second place and the home ice advantage in the opening round of Stanley Cup play. Joe Watson feeds Don Selesky. Selesky shoots and scores. The explosive Flyers jump out to a 1-0 lead in the first period and continue to put the pressure on Islanders goaltender Jerry Desjardins. Bill Barber carries in front of the Islanders' net, and the scramble is on. The puck bounces off the backboards to Bobby Clark, and he scores! The Flyers take a 2-0 lead into the second period. Philadelphia's Rick McLeish gets around Brian Lefley, comes in alone and scores! Flyers 3, Islanders nothing on Rick McLeish's 48th goal of the season. And the rout is on as Philadelphia's offense is in high gear. Bearded Bill Flett shoots and scores. Two goals within the first 36 seconds of period 2, and the Flyers are definitely flying tonight. Rookie Bill Barber gets control in the Islanders' end. He shoots and scores. Bill Barber's tally caps an incredible 8-goal period for the Flyers as they extend their lead to 10-0 and then coast home to a 10-2 victory that sews up second place in the NHL West.
Okay, Waller, Billy, Gene coming up next now. Billy, you guys are up now. Dale and Harry now. Come on, Eddie, Rod, let's go now. Come on.
One of the responsibilities of a general manager, of course, is evaluating talent. I do this along with the scouts and making trades, of course, lean very heavily on them. We have it organized to the point that you know exactly what's going on everywhere in every league. There are advantages to it, of course. I think that the biggest advantage of doing both is that once you've now got the talent, they have to play for you. You're the person that they have to negotiate with for the contracts. To me, that's not a drawback in any way.
Okay, where we go? Let's go. All right, Waller, come on now. Come on, Gene, Billy, where you go? Give it over. Oh, tough luck, tough luck. Come on, Peter, grind him. It's the way to come back now. Same way now. Every line. It's the way to move it. That's the way to move it, Dale, boy. Come on, that's the idea. It's the way to jump on him. That's the way to move in. Give a piece of that guy. Come on. Give a guy yell now if you're in the open. Good play, good play.
Now, once the game starts, of course, you may change personnel on certain lines. You may change lines as to who's going to be your scoring line or your checking line or your holding line. I think that this is one of the prime requirements of a coach. The other thing, of course, is alerting the players that what particular line is going out. On power plays, having your power play unit ready or your penalty killers. Keeping everybody alive on the bench. I think that making good, clean changes, both at the stoppage of the play and also particularly when you're changing on the fly, is a very important part of the coach's responsibilities back there. But I think that basically he has to look at as to how the team is playing, as to how the opposition is playing, and then make any changes as you go along and make it very quickly before it's too late. First thing that we look for, of course, is skating ability. When the other fellow's got the puck, you've got to skate to take it away from him. When you've got the puck, you've got to be able to skate to go to the other net to score. The second thing that we look at, of course, is agility, is mobility. The third thing that we look at for is positional play, that is checking ability. And then, of course, there's one little thing that I think is probably 90% of the package all wrapped up, and that's intestinal fortitude or desire. Sometimes when these guys are backing up, like, they'll pick up the wingers and the end of the center starts back, and they get yourself in a position so Rod can use you, like, and vice versa.
All right, Abby, quiet. Get a stick. Hurry, Jeter, slide back to her. Atta boy. Nail. Go right ahead, That's it. That white thing there. Yeah. They hit that middle thing, that beer. Tell me that's these two guys here. They hit the in the net. Actually, it's hockey 24 hours a day, except when maybe you're sleeping, and when you're sleeping, you're dreaming.
And it's really, it's not a sin to be a dreamer. It's a sin, though, if you don't try to follow through on your dreams. I think that since I've been here, we've been wrapped up in this thing completely, trying to build this hockey club into a contender. In particular, our goal is trying to win the Stanley Cup. And if you're going to do that, you'll find that you have to work at it 12 months a year, because once the season ends, it's just really starting for you. It's 12 months a year, but it's something that we all enjoy. We've got a great team to work together with, along with our players and our scouts, and we're not going to slacken off one bit till we bring the Stanley Cup back to New York.
A standing ovation greets the Buffalo Sabres as they take the ice for their final regular season game. The home crowd hopes to inspire the Sabres. A victory tonight will earn them 4th place and entry into the East Division playoffs. Gil Perreault is Buffalo's top point man and the key to their playoff drive. Rennie Robert's 39 goals leads the team in that department, and the goaltending chore is in the hands of veteran Roger Crozier. The St. Louis Blues have their playoff berth with a 4th place finish in the West. But Harry Younger, Gary Sabourin and company can ruin the Sabres' fine season with a win tonight. And they're going all out with their number 1 goalie, Jacques Caron, guarding the net. The Sabres lead Detroit by a single point, with the Wings playing the Rangers in New York. This is the final night of the 72-73 season, the biggest game in Buffalo's 3-year history, and Roger Crozier is well prepared in goal. The Blues' Floyd Thompson headmans a pass to Wayne Merrick. Merrick races in, shoots and scores. On the replay from ice level, Floyd Thompson's perfect pass finds Wayne Merrick splitting the Buffalo defense. Merrick's shot from point-blank range gives the Blues a 1-0 advantage after just 1 minute and 54 seconds of play. The Blues' Jack Eager sidesteps Larry Mickey, and his long blast is deflected by Crozier to the relief of the standing room only crowd in Buffalo's Memorial Auditorium. Gil Perreault starts up ice for the Sabres. Tim Horton feeds Rick Martin in the slot. The rebound of Perreault, and he scores! The Sabres tie it up on Perreault's 28th goal and then press for the lead with continuing pressure. It's 1-1 after 1 period, while the Red Wings trail the Rangers 2-0 in New York. As the second period begins, the Sabres keep the pressure on Caron, but he's equal to the challenge. Craig Ramsey carries behind the net. The puck slides out to Larry Mickey. Mickey shoots and scores. On the replay, Craig Ramsey and Don Luce combine to get the puck back to Larry Mickey, waiting in the slot. Mickey's shot goes through defenseman Bob Plager, past Caron into the near corner of the net. Sabres 2 and Blues 1. Spurred on by their one-goal margin, the Sabres look for an insurance tally, once again taking the play to the Blues in the offensive zone and then forechecking with a vengeance. Jerry Meehan's shot from the corner is stopped by Caron. Meehan controls the rebound, passes across the goal mouth to Jim Lorentz, and he scores. A second look from behind the net as Jacques Caron's clearing attempt goes right to Jerry Meehan. Meehan's pretty backhand pass is a perfect setup for Jim Lorentz. Lorentz wastes no time drilling it home, and the Sabres extend their lead to 3-1. Sabres coach Joe Crozier plays it cozy with 3 defensemen on the ice as Tim Horton, Tracy Pratt, and Jim Schoenfeld protect goalie Roger Crozier while the Blues try to fight back. Fran Huck's tip-in attempt is just wide, and Jim Schoenfeld carries it out of danger. Caron makes a big save on Don Luce. Another save on Craig Ramsey. At the other end, Crozier stops Jack Eagers from point-blank range. Meanwhile, the Detroit Rally has tied the score in New York, and a Sabres victory is now an absolute must to guarantee 4th place. Roger Crozier and the Buffalo defense stop the Blues cold in the final period. The crowd and the players are delirious as the closing seconds tick away. And it's all over. The Buffalo Sabres clinch 4th place in the East with a 3-1 victory over St. Louis, and they advance to the Stanley Cup playoffs for the very first time. This is Tim Ryan for the Athena Sports Network and National Hockey League action.
Hertz girls hate filling out rent-a-car forms probably as much as you do. So Hertz has found a way to make us both happier. It's called Hertz Number 1 Club, and you can join for free. Then when you reserve a Ford or other car, your form will be filled out in advance. So all you do is show your license, sign the form, and go. Or sign the form and stay. Because the less time I spend on paperwork, the more time I can spend with you.
It's the little things that make us big.
This is National Hockey League action, featuring the hard-hitting, the power, and all the excitement of the world's fastest sport. The Stanley Cup playoffs begin with Game 1 in the West Division Series between Philadelphia and Minnesota. The Flyers have Rick McLeish, the NHL's newest 50-goal man, and number 4 on the league scoring derby. Philadelphia's high-powered offense also features Bobby Clarke, the league's number 2 scorer. Doug Favell gets the start in goal. The Minnesota North Stars' top goal scorer is Danny Grant, winding up with 32 on the year, while Dennis Hextall was right behind him. The North Stars' game is defense, and it's up to goaltender Cesar Maniago to stop the Flyers' potent offense. Talk about an even matchup. Minnesota and Philadelphia actually ended the season with identical records. However, the Flyers won the season series from the North Stars and secured the all-important home ice advantage for this playoff series on the strength of that tiebreaker. The opening period is filled with hard hitting, minor penalties, and good goaltending as both teams are held scoreless during 20 minutes of close checking action. When the second period begins, the pattern continues with the Flyers keeping the puck alive in Minnesota's end, but being denied a scoring opportunity. The North Stars finally clear the puck, and Jude Drouin takes off up ice. Drouin feeds Danny Grant right in front, and Favell makes a spectacular save. Favell's save on Grant's point-blank shot keeps the game scoreless, but Minnesota comes right back. Minnesota's Tom Reed beats Rick McLeish in a race for the puck, and then number 22, Dennis Hextall, gets the North Stars rolling again. Hextall to Bill Goldsworthy, but Goldsworthy drops it right back. Hextall shoots and scores. Here's the replay as Dennis Hextall finally breaks the scoreless deadlock midway through the second period. Hextall rushes up the middle and plays give and go with Bill Goldsworthy on his left. The backhand shot catches the upper left-hand corner of the net, and the North Stars lead 1-0. The Flyers look for the equalizer, but Cesar Maniago is equal to the task for Minnesota. Now the North Stars take to the offense with Fred Harvey in control. Harvey passes to Danny Grant, and Doug Favell makes the save as the action picks up. Fred Buster Harvey takes over again for Minnesota. Harvey to Jude Drouin. Back to Harvey, and Favell comes up with another big save. The Flyers' Bobby Clarke is stopped by Maniago. The rebound is corralled by Bill Barber, but Maniago gloves his shot and holds on to force a faceoff. Dennis O'Brien's clearing attempt skips out of the North Star zone to center ice. Gary Dornhofer loses the handle, and number 2, Barry Gibbs, goes behind his own net to collect the puck from Cesar Maniago. Murray Oliver blocks Andre DuPont's pass to keep the puck in the Flyers' end. Lou Nanne feeds back to Oliver in the corner. Dennis O'Brien at the point. O'Brien shoots and scores. On the replay, Murray Oliver's pass out finds Dennis O'Brien just inside the blue line. O'Brien's long slap shot has passed a partially screened Doug Favell before he can react. The North Stars extend their lead to 2-0 with just 15 seconds remaining in the period. As the final period begins, the Flyers get untracked and apply offensive pressure. Andre Dupont shoots. Maniago saves and then stops Bobby Clark on the rebound. Bill Barber shoots and Maniago saves again. Don Selesky is alone in front, but again Cesar Maniago makes a tremendous save to halt a determined Philadelphia flurry. A Flyers defeat tonight will not only wipe out their home ice advantage, it will also tie the NHL record for consecutive playoff losses at 10, a dubious distinction held by the New York Rangers from 1968 through 1970. Buster Harvey's pass bounces to Jude Drouin at the blue line. Drouin moves in, shoots, and scores. Here's the replay from ice level as the North Stars get a break when Fred Harvey's centering pass bounces over to Jude Drouin at the Flyers' blue line. Drouin looks toward Harvey's wing to freeze the defense, then quickly fires a line drive high into the net over Favell's shoulder. Minnesota 3, Philadelphia 0. With time running out, the Flyers are both scoreless and frustrated. The shutout is too much for Philadelphia's Dave Schultz, so he takes it out on Minnesota's Dennis O'Brien. Dave Schultz wins the fight, but Minnesota captures the game. 3-0 behind the brilliant goaltending of Cesar Maniago. The happy North Stars congratulate their hero, while the Flyers, losers on home ice in this playoff opener, face an uphill battle to the semifinals. The New York Rangers' Vic Hatfield, Jean Rattel, and Rod Gilbert comprise the GAG line. GAG stands for goal a game. Last season, the GAG line averaged close to 2 goals per game.
Well, the success of the GAG line I can contribute to the fact that the three of us get along so well off the ice. We're trying to help each other as much as possible. You have a fellow like Jean Rattel who handles the puck so well. You have a fellow like Rod Gilbert that can put the puck in the net and also do a lot of stick handling. And then with myself, I try to get into the corners to dig the puck out, either to John or Rod.
I don't think that we've been playing as well as we did last year. We've missed a lot of good chances around the net, and I think we should come around and play as well as we did last year. I'm hoping that, everything's going to fall back into place the way it did last year.
Well, the reasons that the GAG line has been going fairly well over the years is mainly because of the players have been together for such a long time. We just adapt to each other real quickly, and of course Vic at first was known as the protector on the line. He was the bigger guy and was really scrappy, and he would go in the corners and really fight for the puck. And Vic has improved his complete image of a good hockey player. He's arrived as a stick handler and a good passer, and it's not only his ruggedness that will determine his style out there. He's a polished hockey player now, and we're all playing well together.
Well, Vic has been great player all through the years, and he's been a great help to me and Rod Gilbert. As you know, he scored 50 goals last year, and he's been a big worker on our line. He's dug the puck in the corners, and he's put the puck in the net consistently. And it's just a pleasure to be playing with Vic.
Well, John Ratelle, off and on the ice, he's basically the same. He never changes, whether he has a good game or a bad game. His personality never differs. On the ice, he is a tremendous centerman, a very slick hockey player, handles the puck very well, sets up the plays, really controls the game when he's on the ice.
Enough is not said about Jean Ratelle as far as his ability as a centerman. I think that he's the most underrated player in the National Hockey League right now because over the years he's always been consistent, especially in the last 5-6 years with the Rangers, where he was scoring 30 goals every season, and Jean has finally received last year some of the rewards coming to him.
Rod Gilbert has been my line mate for over 20 years now, so I couldn't say enough for Rod. It's just been a pleasure to play with him all these years. Even when I was 12 years old, I was playing in minor leagues.
Well, with Rod Gilbert, he's the bachelor about town. He's a little different off the ice than he is on the ice. He's a lot more serious when he's on the ice than he is off. He has a tremendous shot, and he's one of the best right wing in hockey. He controls the puck much like John, has a very good shot, and is a tremendous team man.
The gag line set an NHL record with all three members going over the 40-goal level last season. With tighter checking throughout the league and a rash of injuries, their productivity has been greatly reduced this year. Nonetheless, New Yorkers are hopeful the gag line and better overall balance will spell success in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's Game 4 of the East Division Series between Boston and New York at Madison Square Garden. The surprising Rangers swept the first two games in Boston with heroics by Brad Park in Game 1 and Peter Stemkowski in Game 2. Eddie Giacomin is the New York goaltender, his fourth consecutive start. With the injured Phil Esposito out for the remainder of the playoffs, Bobby Orr will have to carry his usual heavy load and then some, while Derek Sanderson replaces Esposito on the front line. A two-goal performance by rookie Greg Shepard led Boston to victory in Game 3, along with superlative goaltending by Eddie Johnson, who gets his second start of the series tonight. The Bruins are the defending Stanley Cup champions, but they've got their work cut out for them in the opening round right now. In an unusual turn of events, neither team has won on home ice, and the Rangers lead the series 2-1. A New York victory tonight puts them in a commanding position. A Boston win ties it up, with the Bruins then regaining their home ice advantage. Brad Park races along the near boards as the Rangers get a 3-on-1 break. Park feeds Rod Gilbert and he scores! Here's the replay as Brad Park's breakout finds Dallas Smith, the lone defenseman, back for Boston. Park's lead pass gives Rod Gilbert the right side of the net, and the Rangers jump off to a 1-0 lead after just 2 minutes and 35 seconds of action. Both teams settle down to hard-checking defensive hockey following New York's early tally. The Rangers' Bert Marshall, filling in for injured Dale Rolfe, stops Greg Shepard's rush. Jim Nielsen's long shot is kicked out by Ed Johnson. Eddie Jockman handles Ken Hodges' slap shot as exciting end-to-end action thrills the Garden's capacity crowd. Now it's Ed Johnson's turn, stopping Steve Vickers right in front. The Rangers' Ron Harris, number 3, replacing the injured Rod Sealing, has become New York's big hitter in this series, and he's on heavy combat duty again tonight. Stemkowski beats Fred Stanfield to the draw, and the Rangers head up ice. Carol Vadnais' clearing attempt is kept in the offensive zone by Bruce McGregor. Ted Irvin centers to McGregor. The shot is wide, but the rebound to Pete Stemkowski. Score! Here's a second look from behind the net as McGregor's shot caroms off the backboards right to Stemkowski. Stemkowski rams it home, and the Rangers take a 2-0 lead into the second period. The Bruins have their initial power play opportunity of the night with Jim Nielsen in the penalty box. But Bert Marshall blocks Bobby Orr's shot, and Eddie Jockman takes over from there. Has not given up a power play goal in the entire series, with Brad Park, Ron Harris, and Eddie Jockman putting on an incredible defensive show. Greg Shepard's shot is stopped by Jim Nielsen, and Bobby Russo has a breakaway. Russo shoots and scores. On the replay, watch Bobby Russo beat Ed Johnson low to the near side with a blistering slap shot. Another angle as Russo's goal gives the Rangers a 3-0 lead. The New York defense is smothering Boston rushes at the blue line as the Bruins are denied comeback momentum. Don Marcotte intercepts Steve Vickers' centering pass, but overskates the puck. Billy Fairburn feeds Vickers all alone, and he scores. A second look as Don Marcotte loses control, and the Bruins are caught going the wrong way. Steve Vickers slides the puck into the near corner of the net, and New York has a formidable 4-0 margin heading into the final period. The Rangers are all defense, looking for a shutout. The last shutout by a New York goalie in a playoff contest was 23 years ago. Eddie Jockman has 44 previous Stanley Cup appearances without a whitewash, but he's never been as spectacular as he is tonight. Penalties to Marshall and Sather give Bruins a 2-man advantage on the power play. Ed Johnson moves up to the blue line as Boston puts the pressure on Jockman. Jockman and the Rangers survive as Bert Marshall returns, but he's immediately caught hooking Derek Sanderson, and Boston has a 2-man advantage once more. Jockman holds Mike Walton in close, and the rebound is just wide as the New York fans sense victory. As Wayne Cashman's shot is blocked by Ron Harris, Eddie Jockman goes after the puck, and Carol Vadnais simultaneously. Ron Harris steps in to take care of whatever troubles his goalie, and in this case, it's Carol Vadnais. An exhausted but elated Eddie Jockman gets his shutout. The souvenir puck, the congratulations of his teammates, and the adulation of the crowd as the Rangers beat the Bruins 4-0 and take a commanding 3-1 lead in the series. This is Tim Ryan for the Athena Sports Network and National Hockey League action.